أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
The month of Ramadan, Muslims' holiest of months. The month that nearly 1/4 of the people on earth would fast from dawn to dusk, bound together by the enduring spirit of their faith, Islam.
فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْهُ.
So whoever of you sights the crescent on the first night of the month of Ramadan, he must fast that month. Malaysia is no exception, with 60% of its population looking forward to this holy of holiest month. The question comes to mind, what would a non-Muslim, who has very little knowledge of Islam and knows even less about Malaysia, sees the month of Ramadan as?
I was working in New York City as a risk management consultant. In July, I was laid off, so I had to start looking for new jobs. I didn't have a lease on my apartment, which was fortunate, so around the end of July, I made arrangements to move out at the end of August. One day I was browsing through Lonely Planet's travel forum, and I ran into this post titled, "Experience Fasting in Kuala Lumpur." I thought, that's interesting. I've never been to Kuala Lumpur. I don't know about Ramadan fasting. So I responded, and over the next couple days I started emailing Era and Idris, and we exchanged several emails. I kept my fingers crossed because it sounded really interesting, and after a few days Idris told me that I was selected for the project. I thought, oh cool, I was so excited, but really I was a little bit skeptical. I did some more research and I found some of the video clips from Idris's company, MK Direct. I found them on YouTube, just looked at those. I looked through MK Direct website, and I started learning that it was a pretty established company. They'd done a lot of good projects, and it wasn't just some fly-by-night operation going into the middle of nowhere, having no clue what I'd be doing. I'd never been to Malaysia, and I knew nothing about Islam. In fact, my father was raised Jewish, my mother Christian, and growing up we attended Unitarian Church. So I was a little bit out of my league. I felt a swirling mix of emotions because moving out of my apartment, saying goodbye to friends, not knowing when I'd have a job back in New York City, and starting this project that I was pretty excited about, I tried to clear my mind and think about nothing.
Well, welcome to Malaysia.
Well, thank you. The trip from New York to KL takes 24 hours. When I got off the airplane, I wasn't sure what to expect. I was very happy to see Idris at the airport. I'm not sure what I would have done if he didn't pick me up. I have to admit that I was overwhelmed to see the film crew and that they were already filming us from the very start. I really knew nothing about Ramadan before arriving in KL. When I was in New York, one of my friends was Muslim, and when I first met him, he had just returned from spending Ramadan in the Middle East. We both ran together on a team, and he told me that he hadn't really run much all month since he had been fasting. Ramadan sounded like a celebratory month, but fasting sounded flat out difficult. Toward the end of our drive, we finally got a view of the city. After about 45 minutes, we pulled into the drive at Idris's house. This is where I would be staying for the next month. Oh, very nice. Here we are. We've arrived.
Come straight, bro. Honey. Okay. Coming. Thank you.
Maybe I'll take a quick shower.
Yeah.
Do that too?
Then you can take a nap if you want to.
Okay, just take a quick shower.
Yeah, take a nap. Don't.
The second day that I was in Kuala Lumpur, I decided to start fasting. I wasn't very tired yet. I was actually very excited to try fasting the first time. So we had sahur, the morning meal, and then went back to sleep for a little while and continued on with the day's activities. Idris kept the first few days easy so that I could just meet everyone at the office and get used to KL. It's the first time that I meet Era and get to meet one of their clients that they're doing a radio commercial for. Idris asks me what I'm thinking already. I've only been here about exactly 24 hours, maybe 30 hours. So already Idris is curious to see what I think about being in Malaysia. These first couple days have been a bit overwhelming. What with fasting and meeting so many new people and figuring out what I'm doing. Yesterday on my first day I had something to drink, but I didn't end up eating anything. I was offered some snacks, but I thought it would be awkward to eat in front of everyone. Today already I've been fasting. I want to experience fasting. That's part of the reason why I came to KL. So after being at the office, Mas and I go and do some shopping. We're shopping for some fish, fruits, veggies.
Have you tried this yogurt drink?
It's kind of fun to see a supermarket in a new country, see what types of foods are for sale. I enjoy that. Prior to breakfast, Idris's granddaughter, Camarina, and I go to the Pasar Ramadan market. Camarina shows me around some of the local delicacies. Such temptation to be shopping for food and know you are not allowed to eat or drink anything for a few more hours.
It's a good place to be right now. Little sister, and she's finally caught up. Now we're like closer.
On my first day of fasting, we all sit around chatting as we anticipate breakfast. This first day of fasting was not too hard. Mostly, I missed drinking any water during the day, and was so happy to have a nice cold drink and dates prior to a proper meal.
What kind of sauce? Okay.
So at sunset, what happens is the mosque will announce that the sun has set, and to know when it's exactly time that you're allowed to break fast, you can often just stand outside your front door and hear one of the local mosques announcing that the sun has set, or you can turn on one of the local TV channels which usually announce, or you can look up the daily time charts that are published listing sunrise and sunset. At sunset, we broke fast with some fresh juice and dates, a little bit of sugar to kind of wake you back up. Then Idris and his family went off to pray. I see everyone taking breaks for prayer 5 times per day. It almost appears a waste of time to me to disrupt your day 5 times. Idris explains that other than being closer to God, the prayers help him check how his day is progressing, what he would like to do with the day, and what he has or has not yet accomplished. I think this is pretty cool. Sometimes whole days can slip past without consciously thinking of actions and results. And after prayer, they returned and we all had dinner. We had many little dishes, and we had a really refreshing pandan leaf drink that Mas had made. It was wonderful after still being jet lagged. A little bit of sugar woke me back up. It was Idris's birthday, so we had family and his grandkids all came over. I got to meet them for the first time. And we just had a normal evening with Idris's family. We sat around and chatted, played with the camera. We played Chongkak. It seemed like the rules changed every few minutes, but we had fun. And that was the rest of the evening, so that was my first day of fasting.